What is going on, everybody? It is Birdsinthetrap MMA, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about UFC 317, Topuria versus Oliveira. Your boy's been killing it on the picks recently. Not even gonna lie. So I gotta make a video for this one. Watch me airball. But recently, I've been doing good on the picks, and I haven't done a prediction video in a minute. So these usually don't even get the most views, but I'm doing this for myself, really, because we're about to spit some ball. All right, we're about to talk some shit, and I'm in the mood to just talk about MMA for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get right to it and give you guys some super accurate predictions straight from the script. I live in Vegas, so I just went over to the Apex and stole the script. And yeah, what we're going to be talking about is Christopher Ewert versus Jackson McVeigh. Don't really give a fuck. Both of these guys are taking this on short notice. I think McVeigh was supposed to fight Cedricus Dumas, Boot Gang. And, I think Boot Gang would have beat him. So I think Christopher Ewert will beat him too. I'll take Christopher Ewert. In the next fight, Jonathan Deniz versus Alvin Hines. All right. Look, I was looking at Alvin Hines' record, and nothing too crazy, but kind of decent highlight reel. Like, let me tell you why this was funny. This guy has a head kick and an Americana on his record, okay? And the reason that was so funny to me is because I look at his picture, and he looks like a juicy juice boy, as Tito Ortiz would say. He looks juiced as fuck, and he looks like 40, but he's not 40. He's like 33, and it was just funny to think of that meatball getting a Americana choke and a head kick. Anyway, with all that being said, give me Jonathan Deniz. I've seen him fight before. I've seen him do well against, I've seen him counter grapple well against who was it? Carl Williams. Actually, let me make sure that's who it was. Is that correct? Yeah. I remember he defended takedowns a lot in this fight, and he's proven to have power in the UFC. I'll pick Jonathan Deniz by KO. All right. And with that being said, let's talk about the lock of the year. This is the lock of the year, guys. Put this on your parlay. Put any stakes with a casual that you want to bet on. Put it on this fight and go for Jacoby Smith by first 2-minute knockout. All right, it's as simple as that. You know this is a mismatch. And basically, I mean, Nico Price, man, lost to Themba Gorimbo. Damn, there's some fireworks going off outside. Sorry, guys, that distracted me. Lost to Themba Gorimbo. Lost to Robbie Lawler. You know what I mean? He beat Alex Morano, but that's not too crazy to say. I'm drawing a blank about Nico Price. What is there to fucking say? Jacoby Smith looks like an amazing prospect in the UFC. Obviously, he hasn't necessarily been tested yet. I mean, his first fight in the UFC was a 1-minute knockout, which is why I think he'll do it here. And he didn't have to show off the grappling and the wrestling that I've heard this guy has. I heard this is... I could be wrong, but I heard this guy's like a... send 2-3 years Dagestan and forget. I hear he's one of those deals. Maybe not in Dagestan, but he's got really good grappling. I think DC said that. So Jacoby Smith, first minute knockout. Price is done. Nico Price is washed. And like I said, this is a mismatch. This shouldn't even be made. They don't even have the odds on this. Come on, man. I'm sure Jacoby Smith is like a minus 1,000. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause the recording and look at it real quick. Are you kidding me? He's a minus 2,100. Look, I agree. But man, that is just a crazy number to see in an MMA fight. That's like a future bet. Anyways, all right, sorry. Jacoby Smith, knockout, obviously. Like I said, sorry, I just wanted to look at the odds there, and they were shocking. Anyways, let's move on up the card here if the UFC website will let me. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borshev, okay? I'm picking McKinney in this fight. I was thinking about this one for a big minute, and for some reason when they announced this, I kind of just thought like, Borshev probably. But then I thought, right, and McKinney is coming off of a win, which usually means he can have some momentum and get another one, or he gets flatlined. You never know with McKinney. But I prefer him coming off of a win, right? So you've got that. You've got his explosiveness, and most importantly, I think he's going to demonstrate a similar game plan to what he did in his last fight against that Demir guy. I forgot his last name, but Demir something. And basically what he did was just take him down and grapple fuck him. He took him down and just punched him, and they had to stop the fight. You got to stop that fight. So I think McKinney's, obviously that's smart, but I think he's doing that for his chin's sake. I think he really doesn't want to get knocked out again, which is understandable, obviously. But obviously McKinney's not like a prospect at this point. But man, he is explosive, he is fast, and he's going to come out there like a shotgun, you know what I mean? Where Borshev, we've seen him get dropped by Chase Hooper. You know what I mean? We've seen Borshev. I think for a second I thought pretty highly of Borshev. I think after the draw with Sadikov, I was thinking pretty highly of him because he was coming off a good win before that. But since then, he's just not been able to perform at the level that I would need him to. Because if you're going to beat McKinney, you're going to run through him, right? So I don't think he has the ability to run through McKinney. And yeah, I think McKinney's going to blitzkrieg him. Borshev went to a split decision with Lontop, right? James Lontop, the guy who fought Rufy. Split decision? Come on. Yeah, I'm going to pick McKinney. Pretty confident in that one. All right, Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. I don't give a fuck about this fight. Literally, don't care. I'm planning to cook as soon as this fight ends, McKinney. I'm planning to start my steak and throw it on the grill, have it prepared, you know what I mean? And hopefully this fight goes to the decision, and I'll be done. I'll be back inside by the time my steak is done. So yeah, I'm literally planning to coordinate cooking around this fight, so I don't really care. I'm not going to give a pick. All right, let's talk Haider Emil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. I think I'm going to go with Haider Emil. I know that some people have picked Delgado, and I understand the pick. But this one, I'm kind of just going off of the experience. They're similar experience, right? But Haider Emil, I'll just pick him. Come on. Jose Miguel Delgado, his only win is over, Connor Matthews. I think it's Connor Matthews. And that's just a guy that I feel like I've seen lose a bunch of times. I don't even know if that's true. You know what I mean? But I think Dennis Bazookia beat him too. You know what I mean? Which I'm like, come on. Anyways. Yeah, I'm going to pick Haider Emil to win this fight. And I think he'll win by decision. Okay? Alright. Dude, Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. What am I supposed to do? Come on. What am I supposed to do? There's not a great pick here. But let's talk about it, boys. I think I'm going to pick Jack Hermanson. And I'm kind of just, like, right now thinking that. Honestly, I've been pretty undecided on this one. But, am I? Fuck, man. The layoff, right? Man, he'd still be ranked if they didn't jack him. Crazy that they take out Jack Hermanson, but John Jones can keep the fucking belt. He's coming off a win, so he's due to lose. But I might stick with the crafty vet here, man. I think I'm gonna pick Jack Hermanson. I think I'm gonna pick Jack Hermanson to not get finished and outcraft him. You know what I mean? Really, I think Gregory Rodriguez just kind of has one speed, right, and one way of fighting, which is pressing forward, looking for a knockout. And most of the time he does it. He either gets finished or gets a finish. And I like Gregory Rodriguez, actually, man. Like, I think he's a really entertaining and fun fighter. But, you know, lost to Bruno Ferreira. I mean, I think Bruno Ferreira would run through Jack Hermanson. Do I think that? No, I don't think that. I'm lying. What did I just say? Really competitive fight with Cannonier, though. Man, if he's able to knock down Cannonier... And that's where the layoff comes into this one. Right? Because is Jack Hermanson just going to be able to tank the shots that Cannonier survived? And I know those were flash knockdowns, but for a guy like Hermanson, who's been knocked out by Cannonier, I think I'm going to pick Hermanson. I'm going to pick Hermanson to control the avalanche that comes on him early and win a 29-28 decision. He's going to outcraft him. And that's the prelim headliner. Yeah, so the prelim picks, let's go over it one more time. Christopher Ewert, Jonata Denise, Jacoby Smith, Terrence McKinney, Hyder Emil, Jack Hermanson. Okay? Give me those on the prelims. That'll happen. And let's talk about this one. Because this is a fight where I am thinking about picking Talbot. I really am thinking about picking Talbot here. But, you know, I don't think I will. Felipe Lima has shown to be a really good positional grappler. I would say that's how his fight with Mohamed Naimov looked. I remember being very impressed watching him beat Naimov in his debut up a weight class. That is a very impressive thing to do. And not that Naimov is good or anything, but like in his UFC debut, that's a good opponent to beat. There's no denying that. Whereas Talbot, is it just me, or is Barcelos not that bad of a loss? I look at Barcelos and his game plan as just a super old and bad version of Merab. Come on. He just comes forward shooting takedowns and clipping you with punches, but you can't finish him. Unless, I mean, Barcelos can be finished. But anyways, I don't feel like that's a terrible loss for Peyton Talbot early in his career, you know? Peyton Talbot's not no Umar Nurmagomedov, you know what I mean? And I don't think that of him. But Felipe Lima, at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a Felipe Lima trains super hard and wants to dedicate his life to this. Whereas Peyton Talbot, I don't think he dedicates his life to fighting. I think he wants to just come and be in good scraps and do well in them. And I don't think he has like a fighting lifestyle. Come on, I feel like you guys would agree with me. You know what I mean? I'm picking Lima off of grit. That's where we're at right now, guys. I'm picking Lima to win by decision. I think it will be a good fight, good scrap. But I think he'll be just good enough on the feet to not get finished. And good enough to take down Talbot and grind him out where he needs to. Now, Talbot, he was able to get off of bottom at times against Barcelos, but I don't know if I can see him pushing that for 3 rounds hard. Maybe he can defend the takedowns, but maybe not. You know what I mean? Barcelos took him down at will. So, yeah, and at the end of the day, that fight was only 6 months ago with Barcelos. Is that enough time to fix all those, or fix all the holes in your game and then learn all those get-ups? I don't know. I kind of want Talbot to win, though. I am going to say that in the universe. I don't mind getting this one wrong. Hey, MMA gods, bring it on. I like Peyton Talbot, and I prefer him winning than Lima. No disrespect, but I mean, come on. I'm going to pick Lima. All right, here we go. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. You know, what do you say about this fight? Okay. Dariush, I'm going to drink some water real quick. This is a fight where I've been picking Moicano. And then I just had a vision where Dariush won by decision. They are not that far apart in age, man. I think of Dariush as... Like, when I think Dariush, I think 37, about to turn 38. And when I think Moicano, I think 33, 34. You know what I mean? These guys are both 36. And they're not even that far apart from each other in days. You know what I mean? So, I think I'm going to pick Beneil here, guys. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm okay with the Beneil Dariush win right now. He beat Gamrot. And since then, the only opponents he lost to is Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. Now, I picked Beneil to win both of those fights, which I know is very stupid in hindsight. I know it's stupid. But I picked Beneil to beat those guys. I mean, come on. Beneil's underrated, man. And if he shows up a good version of himself, I think he's about to pull an Usman. Let's put it like that. He's about to pull an Usman. If he can show up a decent version of himself, just like how I would say Usman, not the best version of himself, but still an amazing version of himself. If Beneil can bring that to this, I think he will beat Moicano. Because Moicano has no threat on the feet. You know what I mean? There's nothing really coming at you that you need a... Oh, shit. You know, Moicano is a back take guy. Moicano is a full mount ground and pound guy. And at the end of the day, Beneil Dariush is the scrambler of eggs. You know what I mean? He'll scramble with Moicano. And I think he'll out-scramble him. I think he will. So, I think he'll get on top when he needs to. And I think Benny can hurt him on the feet. Benny's thrown some punches. Let me tell you, back in the day, Benny's thrown some punches. For real. Like, actually, let's count Beneil Dariush's KO wins. Because I know he's done it quite a bit. 1, 2, 3. James Vick. Okay, only 3. For some reason, I thought there were more. But, I'm thinking about him getting kneed to Barboza, but he got knocked out. Anyways, I think Dariush is more of a threat on the feet. So I will be picking Dariush by decision. But this is another fight where I really don't mind who wins. All of these fights, except for one, are fights where I don't mind who wins. Like, for the sport, I'm cool with both of them. So, yeah, give me Dariush to beat Moicano by decision. Like them both, though. Okay, what the hell is going on with this? Are you kidding me? Why is it like that? Why are Van and Royval like that? What do I need to do here? They're just like that? Alright. Is that fine? Alright. It's just like that. I think I'm gonna pick Royval. Because I don't think there's anything Van brings that he hasn't seen before. Okay? If Van wins this fight, it's gonna be him capitalizing on a moment. I think. You know what I mean? And is Van the type of fighter to knock someone out? He's coming off a TKO win, but Royval has a very diverse game. Okay? Royval's good on the ground. He's got more weapons on the feet. And he's beaten way more quality opponents. And he's been there, done that, basically, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Been there, done that in the flyweight division. I mean, has he fought everyone in the fucking division at this point? Like, Tyra, Moreno, Pantoja, Nicolau. He already fought Kaikar France, who's fighting for the belt. This guy has nothing but quality wins in the UFC. Wait, okay. Tim Elliott, hey, that's a decent win. In your fucking debut fight, decent win. Kai Kara-France, good win. Don't know who the fuck this is, but Matt Schnell, maybe not a good win, but it's a fighter who's won in the UFC, you know? Nicolau, yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Royval here. Seen it all, been there, done that. Joshua Van, I love Joshua Van. Let's talk about that real quick, because Joshua Van is the shit in my opinion. It looked absolutely amazing against Bruno Silva, and I've seen significant improvements from fight to fight. The not counter grappling, the anti-grappling is amazing because he doesn't even let you get a takedown. I mean, we just broke down Joshua Van, it feels like, because we did. And that's what I don't really love. I don't love that he didn't have a super long time to prepare for an opponent with the length of Roy. But he was ahead against Charles Johnson, was he? He was ahead against Charles Johnson, but he got finished in that fight. I'm going to pick Royval. Because I was saying I wish for a longer opponent that Van would have more time to prepare, you know? I want Van to win. I'm going to say that. I think I'm going against what I want here, and I think I'm going to pick Royval. Royval is cool for the division too. Dude, am I about to pick Van? Guys, I feel overcome with a pick switch right now. I'm not going to fence it this. I'm not going to fence it. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick Brandon Royval. Yeah, let's get on with it. Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. I've had a take here where I think Pantoja's going to submit him. I think he's going to submit him. I know a lot of people are picking Pantoja by 48-47 because that's just what he does. You know what I mean? Everyone is saying 48-47. What the fuck? How is everyone saying that? But anyways, with that being said, I think Pantoja's going to submit him. I think he's... I mean, what's Kai Kara-France going to do after round 2? You know what I mean? He's got decent counter wrestling and counter grappling, but Pantoja's the champion of this division, and he's already beaten him before. Like, I'm going to pick Pantoja. He looked amazing in his last fight, and I know you can say that, oh, Kaya Sakura, like, we don't know how good he is yet. Of course he looked good against a debut fighter. I understand that argument. I'm not going to fight you on that. But I think a lot of that was also Pantoja in his bag. Like, I feel like he's getting better as a champion. And I almost want to say the close fights are out of the way. And it's time for him to just be a dominant champion like everyone talks about. And finish some motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And I don't even think Kai Kara-France deserves a title shot. Well, I mean, who else does? I guess I understand that. But I think I'm going to pick Pantoja to sub him, you know? Kai Kara-France at the end of the day is super explosive and has, you know, power for flyweight. But so does Pantoja, you know what I mean? And let's look at who Kai Kara-France has finished. I know that Pantoja didn't finish Urseg and Kai Kara-France did, but dude, I'd pick he has 2 KO wins in the UFC? 3, sorry. He's not the finisher I really thought. He's not the finisher I really thought, and he's not crazy active at all. I'm going to pick Pantoja to look super good in this fight and dominate him and submit him by rear naked choke in the 3rd or 4th round. I think he'll win on the feet. I think Kai Kara-France might like fluke a knockdown and like have a scary moment. But I don't think Pantoja's chin is ready to go yet. Yo, Pantoja has the sickest custom shorts yet. Like, I don't even know if they meant to. They gave him the best ones. His are awesome. It's not right there. I have a dragon tattooed on my arm. You can't really see it that well. But his shorts remind me of that dragon. And yeah, I love his shorts. So shorts aura, we're going to pick Pantoja to win here. Main event time. This is one of those fights where, let me tell you a little story. They announced a fight between Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva, where as soon as they announced the fight, I was like, Silva. You know what I mean? It was so simple and easy. I didn't even have to think about it. But as a fight week ensued and the weeks before got closer, I was starting to trick myself into thinking that Bryce can maybe have a chance. And that was just stupid of me. And on fight week, in my video, I said I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to pick... Who the fuck am I talking about? Silva. I'm going to pick Silva. And with this fight right here, when they announced it, I remember telling everyone, damn it, I think Charles is going to get slimed out. You know what I mean? First round KO. And as we've gotten closer, I've, built myself into believing we got something crazy here on our hands. When at the end of the day, guys, I just don't really think we do. I think Topuria is going to look masterful on the feet. And I think he's going to be able to do good enough on the ground to not get submitted. Now, I don't think he can go jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu with Charles Oliveira. I just don't think he can. But I think he can get up. And I think he can not get submitted. You know what I mean? And I think he can... I don't think he will offensively grapple. I don't think it would be smart to, actually. Because just fight him on the feet. You know what I mean? But, look. Ilya looks so sharp, man. Did you guys watch his open workout? During his open workout, I saw Charles getting KO'd like 3 times. I saw punches that Ilya threw in his open workout that I'm just watching him and I'm like, what are you supposed to do about that? Like, what the fuck are you going to do about that? You're not going to move in time. You know what I mean? I'm picking Topuria to knock him out. And I think it'll be in the second round. For a little while, I was going with the first round. But I think it will be a second round KO. I think a second round KO is warranted here. And I love Charles Oliveira, guys. It's honestly sad. But I like Ilya. You know what I mean? I have a Charles Oliveira shirt. And I'm going to wear it. Because Charles Oliveira was one of my first favorite fighters. You know what I mean? One of the first guys for me to just be like, he's the fucking GOAT. But times have changed. And he's 35 now. And I think he's a little slower on the feet. I think he's slowing down a bit. I kind of saw that in the Chandler fight. Now, I will say about that Chandler fight, he executed like everything perfectly in the sense of what he would need to do to beat Topuria. He looked really good in that fight and like technically looked really good. And if he fought with that perfect technique against Ilya, I think he would do well. But I don't think Ilya's going to give him the chance to. Because I think if Ilya's going to lose, I feel like he'll get head kicked. You know what I mean? Out cold. And I don't think Charles is going to do that. You know what I mean? I just don't think he will. So, with that being said, what can Oliveira do here? Well, let me tell you guys a little vision I had. Okay, this is a vision video. I had a vision where in the first round, Charles just got the back, like, super quick in, like 90 seconds in. Charles has the back, standing, threatening the choke. And I think he'll get the back. I kind of think Charles will get the back at some point. Now, I know in saying that, it's like, well, if Charles is going to get the back, how are you going to not pick him to finish him? But that's why I say I think Ilya's going to be calm, collected, and not overthink it, and just stay composed and knock him out in the next round. Now, if Charles can't even close the distance, because I know Charles is going to be pressing forward here, if he can't even close the distance properly to get there, he's fucked, guys. Like, I just don't like the idea of Charles going in on this guy, going forward. But I think if he fights on the back foot, he'll just get knocked out later. Really. I really like Oliveira, man. And I think this is going to be the beginning of his downfall. Not downfall, he's always going to be good. But no more titles after this one for Charles, I don't think. Which is a damn shame. But Ilia Topuria is just the guy right now. What are you supposed to do? What can you do to beat him? Like, what the fuck? So, I hope the champion has a name and he can show me one more time. But I think the champion's going to be Ilia Topuria. And if he wins this fight, he's top 10 all time. I'm sorry, he is. Tied with Silva? Come on now. He'll be top 10 all time. So, that's the picks, guys. We went over the prelims. We'll go over the main card. I'm taking Lima. I'm taking Dariush. I'm taking Royval. I'm taking Pantoja, which is the only fight I care to get right. I don't really like Kai Kara France. And I'm taking Ilia. All these other fights, I actually don't really care who wins. I think both will be good for the future of our sport. But right now, Charles is getting this belt. No, sorry, Ilya's getting this belt. And I hope he has a good reign at lightweight, man. Something tells me he's not going to fight more than 4 times, you know? So I hope he gets another fight this year. That's all I can ask for of Ilia Topuria. One more fight this year. And yeah, guys, with that being said, it's been Birdsinthetrap MMA. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your predictions in the comments if you even made it this far. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.